talk business thanks to our partners Forsyth Barr, and it's trash talk because two of the biggest landfill owners are battling for the right to take out rubbish. Herald NOW business host Garth Bray is with us to break it down. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
So tell us about the trash.
So we've got Auckland's biggest landfill, Redvale, and I think you're probably going to see some pictures of that shortly if we've managed to track those down. Herald reporter Ben Lay and Cam Pitney took a trip out there last year to take a look. It wants to stay open for another 8 years to 2036, and it's trying to get fast-track approval to reconsent the whole place so they can take an extra 4.5 million cubic metres of trash basically into the airspace there, and then put the top on it. And but Business Desk this morning, Thomas Manch, infrastructure reporter, is reporting that Hampton Downs, which is the other big kind of player in this thing, which is owned by Enviro NZ, is saying, rubbish, you don't need it. We'll take it, truck it down here. You don't need to fast track it. The local schools up there that have been furiously protesting this thing and saying you shouldn't fast track this and give it an extra life because it's making the air smell rotten and the rest of it, claim that obviously the owners dispute. They're saying, no, give us your rubbish, basically. We're talking sort of the 1.6 million tonnes, I think, of rubbish that Auckland makes every day. Big stuff. I guess Waste Management shooting back, saying, no, we don't think that you can actually handle it quite as much, and that basically that would add an incremental transport cost of $188 to $240 million if you're running all those trucks up and down the motorway the whole time. So it's the economic benefits. It's the request for fast tracking, I think, is with Chris Bishop. Very political kind of decision about it's ushered through to the next stage. But I guess this is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out with you. What sort of call you make and on what grounds you make it.
One man's trash is another man's treasure, Garth.
Big bucks in it.
Big money. Hey, gold. How good is gold?
Gold is extremely good right now,
right?
Gold is, I think, trading about over $5,100 an ounce on the intraday.
It's crazy. But shouldn't we have bought it a year ago?
Well, if you did, you'd be sitting on and the question is, do you buy it now? Because
exactly.
People are picking it'll go even higher. Look, the latest one just spurred off, I guess, some talk over the weekend that the US Fed was going to help the Bank of Japan intervene in the yen, basically, because it's been trading at some pretty heavy losses. And on that kind of talk, the US dollar's dropped to about a 4-month low against the major currencies. And any time that kind of ructions happens, and this is off the back of the Greenland and various other kind of trade tariff issues, you're getting people going, oh, crikey, I'll jump on a bit of gold. Tell you what it hasn't, though, it's helping our dollar. Because, I mean, all of this, we're trading up near 60 cents, I think 5.995 when I glanced a moment ago. So that's going to be tougher for exporters, but great if you're planning a trip and so on. Might reduce the cost of imports as well, which might help with inflation. But didn't help Santana Minerals, which is the big NZX listed company that is hoping to mine quite a bit of the Otago area for huge gold find, it says, is down there. You would expect would be on a tear as well, because most of them are doing well on the prospect they're going to make great gains on that. But they dropped quite significantly in trading yesterday, even though Auckland Anniversary and Australia Day meant that there was problems around in the market. They dropped because there was some news that their fast track might be quite complicated, and they dropped to about 20%, I think, came back to about 13%. So
even though the price of gold's going through the roof, the fast track part of that is worrying investors.
Getting it is the trouble.
Very quickly, KiwiSaver returns have been quite good last wee while.
MJW, they survey the funds, a median of 9.7% for last calendar year in your balanced funds, which is what most of the KiwiSaver default funds work into, which is not a bad return. And I guess a pointer there that you take a look at the 10-year returns rather than just the 3-month thing. Also, just to mention quickly that from Monday, you'll be able to opt out of, if you want to, the changes to KiwiSaver. You're either going to go from 3% to 3.5%, although they're making it very hard because you should probably leave your money.
Because you should probably leave it in there.
Especially on 10%.
100%. 100% on 10%. Hey, silver, you didn't mention silver. 150% increase, did I read yesterday, on last year.
Well, you would have had to hold it for a very long time to get those sorts of returns. So, yes, silver is finally having its day.
Yeah, very cool. Hey, thanks, Garth. Good to see you as always. That's Garth Bray, Herald NOW business host. And we talk business every day thanks to our partners, Forsyth Barr.